When you talk about the sustainable future, if in fact LeBron does not decide to stay with Cleveland, can they sustain success with the pieces they put in place?
Well, I certainly think they've given themselves a much better chance. If you look at what they have in the way of the Brooklyn pick, which currently would be, I think, the sixth or seventh best chance, maybe at the first pick. This is a draft that is very, very good and very deep at the top in most people's eyes. And I think this is a year where you can get a real high variance piece that could potentially be a cornerstone for your franchise moving forward. And if you compare that with some of the guys that they currently have, Kevin Love, when he comes back healthy next year, they have a lot of pieces there that are certainly going to be a playoff caliber team and a team that they can augment and grow with over time very well.
David, there's certainly a lot of talk, especially from the outside, of the perception that, well, LeBron helps make or makes a lot of the decision on what's going on, not only on the court, but in helping to form the team as well. Where is that? What's the reality of that as opposed to the perception of that?
Well, the reality is if LeBron James is on your team, he's a basketball savant. And you're not doing your job if you don't talk to him about the pieces that you may be trying to bring in. But what we did was try to build a family there. And culturally, it was really important to us to talk to the guys about the pieces we would bring in. So we did speak to LeBron. We did speak to Kyrie. We did speak to Kevin Love. More importantly, we got great information from guys like Mike Miller and James Jones as well. You know, it was a really meaningful thing to us that the family in that locker room care enough about each other to tell each other what they needed to hear. So they should have a big role in who's going to be in there with them. I think what's overblown about LeBron is because he's on a one-year contract and because he's the greatest player of his generation, everyone wants to assume he must have more power than any athlete's ever had. Well, he does, and it's because he's got a one-year contract and he has the ability to dictate his own outcome year after year. That's incredible power. He didn't want any of those other responsibilities. He didn't want to be the general manager. He doesn't want to be the head coach. All he wants to do is lead his guys and compete and bring everyone to a point where they can achieve their greatness together. That's what he cares about. And so absolutely you would talk to him. There was never a time he walks into your office and made demands. You never, ever were made to feel like you were doing it for LeBron, but you certainly wanted to get his input.
What's your sense, David, on where LeBron will go this summer?
You know, it's interesting. I think he's earned the right to do whatever he wants. And Mike, being a Northeast Ohio guy, can appreciate this to some degree too, I think. But I think when you do what he's done for Northeast Ohio, and literally thousands of kids in Akron are going to go to college because of this man, if LeBron makes a decision that there's a challenge that awaits him that he thinks is greater than staying there, I think he's earned the right to pursue it. I do think these trades are going to go a very long way towards keeping him in Ohio. And the reason is I think he recognizes now he does have a team that he can compete at the highest level with and young kids that are going to be there with him for a little while. And maybe he gets continuity that he might like. So I think this might enhance the chances he stays. And certainly if they can win a championship, I could never see him leaving in that circumstance.